live because, alright, like, I have just found out about this case, like, literally 3 days ago, or 4 days ago now, and truthfully, I actually ran across one of her videos about the Thrive thing, and I was just like watching it. I didn't even know the lady had passed away or anything at this time. That Shanann Watts. I was just watching the Thrive video. I mean, I just had why it came up on my feed. And so then I looked down at the bottom and it said something about in memory. I don't remember which one it was, but I think it was one of the last ones she did because she was. It was before they were going to San Diego. It was the last like video she made for. They were leaving to go to San Diego, I think, in June, on June 22nd through the 26th. Anyway, so she was making a video about that. She seemed to be in very good spirits. Everything seemed to be okay. Like, at this point, I don't think she had a clue. I think that, I've listened to almost half of this interview now. Started taking notes because I was like, whoa. I mean, I really didn't expect it to be quite as obvious as it was to me. Like, when I first saw it, then I kind of just saw a couple little videos about it a couple people had made, and I was thinking, well, I mean, what would make somebody just snap? So I thought he was just a jerk from the beginning and blah, 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 so I was trying to look into it. Anyway, I don't know, something just disturbed me about this. I mean, just so much. And, anyway, so I couldn't figure out, like, if it was him, like, maybe he got away with it or something. Like, I didn't even know he was arrested. Like, literally knew nothing. So I've been, like, just absorbing information for the last couple days, and because I want justice for that lady and her children and her unborn baby. And yes, he's in jail where he needs to be, but I'm telling you, she does too. And I'm going to explain why as we go through this tape. I heard she was going into FBI, what's it called, when they change your name and all that, a witness protection, yeah. That she was doing that, and maybe they're just watching her, watching her really close, keep an eye on her, make sure, hopefully she'll slip up. So that could be it. But we'll see. We'll watch this. Turn it on. Hold on.
At your request.
I hope you can hear it.
You don't have to talk to us. If there's a question you don't want to answer, don't answer it. If you don't want to talk anymore, just tell me I want to. Tell me.
I hope y'all can hear.
And I'm kind of in the way of the door. You're not being. You're not being interrogated as a criminal suspect. We're here to understand your relationship with Chris and what you know about Chris and his family and events relating to Chris Watts. And do you know him as Chris or Christopher?
If y'all can hear it, if you're watching, give me a heart or a thumbs up so I know you can hear.
The phone number that you reached him on, can you tell me what that number was?
What they're saying.
I think I deleted that out of my phone too. I just cut him out of my life. It's a 910 number. You guys have it.
We gave it to Mark yesterday.
Yeah. I probably have it just in case.
I don't have it
anymore. If I recited it to you, would you know it?
Just the first 3 numbers.
But you know it as a 910 number?
Hey,
yes,
Christy.
That's what I do know. I mean,
That's what I've got. North Carolina or something.
Yeah, North Carolina. Okay. So,
Christy, can you hear me? If you can, give me a thumbs up, or if you can hear what they're saying. This is that Watts.
Chris, how you guys met? where you met, all those things. Let's just run. And I'm not going to ask
This
you
is that
specific
Watts case,
questions
that Chris
if necessary. I'll let you just tell
and
me your
Shanann
story.
Watts, where he
It's a
killed
little
his
bit easier that way.
wife and
So
two
I
little
just want to
girls,
know
and
how
his
you met him,
wife
where
was
you met him, how
15
long you
weeks
guys were dating,
pregnant with a son that they
just
tried
like
for.
things initially.
So,
I think I met him sometime in
okay,
June.
good.
Probably early June.
Okay, yeah,
Might
good.
have been May. It was just talking at work.
This girl needs to be in prison.
And he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger. And every time I talked to him, he didn't tell me that he was in a relationship. He didn't even mention his kids right away either. And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like
he's
right
a
around Father's Day too.
dad.
So whenever that is in June. Yeah. So
I'm not good with holidays.
he told me he had kids, and then it was
She was
Father's Day
definitely
shortly after
involved.
that. So that's what I do know. And I was like, I know, I thought it was
Chrissy,
cute.
this is crazy.
And
You
then
just don't even know.
he's telling me about him. He's pretty excited about him. And then he mentioned that he did have a significant other. And then he told me that those 2 were in the process of a separation.
Mm-hmm.
Did he mention?
But she had Googled this girl a year in advance.
I
His
didn't know
wife.
his significant other's name for a while.
She's lying
And
right
then
there.
I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick, but to be honest with you, on an exact date of when that happened, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
She already knew because she followed.
First of all, where do you work?
I work at Anadarko Petroleum Corporation. I'm contracted to Anadarko Petroleum Corporation
Okay, and you work out of an office setting where?
in Flatville, Colorado.
And Chris also works out of that location, per
Yes,
se.
yes. He's in the field, but he comes into the office with his team.
So you work.
She had her eyes set on him a year in advance.
Health, safety, and environment.
Okay, so you work in the office.
And their life was very, very, very out in the public.
Oil and gas company, right?
She,
So you're doing health
if
safety
she's
in the
sleeping
office,
with that
and
man,
Chris
rest
works
assured, she is watching those videos. She is watching that
He's an
wife. She
operator,
wants to
so I don't
know
know,
what's
like, all
going
of
on.
his daily
Trust
duties,
me,
but
she
he's
has
a field
researched this
operator,
whole
so he works
situation.
with, like, the oil wells.
So he goes out and does work on those, whatever.
Yes, it does.
She's
She's a sociopath. She's a Jezebel narcissistic sociopath.
They're not all in there every day. Some days some of them are in there, some days other ones are in there, but
She intended on home wrecking this house. She did that on purpose.
6:15 to probably 7, somewhere around there.
And is that where you met Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So can you just take us through kind of a little bit of the early part of how he courted you or you courted him? I don't know which one happened. How you guys got to know each other?
I guess we just started talking. He actually, so part of my job is to manage the gas monitors that we have. So Anadarko requires all of their field personnel to carry like gas monitor sensors for toxic gases.
And Daddy is sitting right there beside her the whole time, guiding her.
Like that. We were having
I believe her dad has some kind of involvement with this company. Like, I think Chris Watts worked for her father in some sort of fashion.
And I'd seen him before, like they meet in the lunchroom, and that's where I go put my lunch in the fridge. So I'd seen him, but I didn't ever like talk to him. So that day we just started talking, and then every time I saw him in the hallway after that, and it was always hit or miss. Like it wasn't
Hit or
an everyday
miss.
thing. It was just when I saw him, we just started talking. And
She ran into him on purpose. She had her eyes set on him.
I don't know. One day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned yes that I have a wife, but we're getting separated. Okay, and then
When do you think that was?
when he said all that,
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife, was that within?
Now listen, I have no doubt he didn't say that. I mean, I do believe he said that because he's a player. I mean, he was on all kind of dating sites. So I
it was
believe,
still in June.
you know, he was receptive to her.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time? You just
Her flirtiness.
conversing at work?
Yeah, that's all it was. And then I don't know. We started hanging out. We hung out. We went to a park. Hung out at a park.
Let's go back real quick. So why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce? Did he ask you out at that time?
No, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he talked to me a couple times.
She knew he was married.
Via his work phone, and I was like, no. Like, it was still very, like, friendly conversation. But then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I'm interested in him, this is personal, so we got away from the Anadarko thing, because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. And
so you have a work phone that's specifically...
No, I have one phone that I do both on. He has two phones.
Okay, so your phone, the 72065...
That's the only number that I roll with all the time.
Okay.
So he has two phones.
One of those owned by Anadarko and
Yes,
one
sir.
personal.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what his Anadarko phone number was?
It's been so long, and I mean, I'm sure I could, like, look it up, but I tried to look it up for those guys yesterday, and I couldn't find it.
Okay. You can find it.
This just happened, like, literally this past summer.
But at that point, we just, like, took it to his phone, because I just felt it was, like, better that way. And we just continued to talk, and
Kirsty, you still with me, or are you gone?
You go back to the park. Where's the park?
It's, like, down the street from my house. It's called East Lake number 3.
Your house?
Yes.
In Northglenn?
Yes.
And that was in the June time frame.
Yeah, or like the beginning of July. It was like right around my birthday. It's like so sometime at the very end of June or the beginning of July.
Okay. And that's the first meeting you had outside of work?
I said, are you still with me?
Basic conversation for a first date?
I mean, we kept it pretty simple, I guess, you know.
I mean,
remember everything we talked about. We were there for
she's lying right here. This very monotone voice is rehearsed. All this stuff she's rehearsed before she went.
Conversation, what I'm looking for, was he talking about?
It's like no affect in her voice at all, unless it's something that she feels confident about. You can tell.
Whatever you guys were talking about, relationship.
Like that won't lead her into any kind of trouble.
I don't need to know that. What I'm interested in is knowing is when he brings up his children, when he brings up his wife, when he brings up financial information, when he brings up his home, when he brings up anything that may have been, and it's been a few days, so you've had a chance to reflect on some articles that you may have read, and you know, unfortunately, that you're in a situation where somebody has been murdered.
This is a spiritual situation, y'all. I don't even know if y'all realize this.
In your memory with conversations with Chris,
But there
anything
was
you might
some
have said
spiritual
that
forces here at
would be
work,
relative
seriously.
to that. And I'm not just, even if he one day was mad, he said, I want to do this or do that. Anything like that.
That Jezebel spirit, this is just typical for it.
Why would he
Typical.
say that, or why did he mention that? Do you understand what I'm
No, I completely understand. I just feel like some of this happened so long ago that I can't tell you, like, the exact words of the exact conversation at the exact time and place, because it's like, we had a lot of conversations. I mean, we talked every single day, so it's like, I'm trying to help you guys with the stuff, like, the stuff that's more current, I can give you guys a lot more, like, detail and exact times, but when you're asking me about something that happened 6 weeks ago and exactly what was said, it's like, I mean, I'm sure I can give you a general
See,
idea,
she's not
but
wanting to
be
trip
honest with
herself
you,
up
like, to
here. She's
pinpoint
afraid
exact words,
that
it's
she
not
won't be able to
gonna happen.
remember the lies. If she hasn't rehearsed them yet,
just more,
she doesn't want to give more
let's say
information.
6 weeks ago he said something that triggered with you last night. That's what I'd be looking for. Or something 4 weeks ago. And if you don't remember where it was, or the specific words, that doesn't matter. Just he said something that was off the wall, or he said this, or he said that.
They're basically lubing her up because they're fixing to try to get her phone from her.
Said that. Now, knowing what you know today.
But they already have a lot of her text
Where I'm
messages.
going with that?
I completely understand, and to be honest with you, I mean, there were several discussions that we had about his current relationship and where it had gone and what it had caused. And he talked about his kids from time to time, but the thing is he was never hostile. It was never anything aggressive.
Now
Like,
she's
even
trying
when
to
he
cover,
spoke
like,
of
almost give
his
too
wife
much
and the fact that
information,
they were
which is a
separating, it was
signal or a
never,
flag.
ill. It was still very kind. It was just like, this is not working, and would explain why, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary or anything that I think would scare me. And to this day, even after everything that I found out, I still look back at that and I don't see any red lights with the way that he spoke of his family.
Of course not. She's
Just
used to
describe
being
his
with married
overall
men.
demeanor over the
She has another man named Jim that has a key to her apartment that her dad also works with, that he just comes in and
I guess
stays
we knew
there.
each other longer.
She really did not want to give him up.
Just his overall
She didn't want to involve him. I think it's
persona.
because he's married as well.
Aggressive? Was he mellow? Was he calm? Was he outspoken? Who was Chris?
I think he's an introvert. I would consider him to be like a pretty, I don't want to say he's a very reserved individual.
And Jezebel loves to find a more reserved
I think
person
he emphasized
because
to
they
me
can
that
control
one of the reasons
him.
that he really enjoyed talking to me is because if he felt
They know how
like
to control that.
he could get out of his shell.
Kind of like
He said
Ahab.
around most people, he just like didn't really feel the need to like talk and
Remember, we're in
it
a
wasn't just in
war
his whole
against
life, just in general.
spiritual wickedness and principalities. We're not with flesh and
It
blood.
made him feel like he could really just start talking about things that excited him, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had things in common. So with me,
Well,
I
it's
think
kind
he
of
was a little
hard
bit
to
more outgoing, but even
do
then,
all the stuff you
I would
wanted
still
to do with
consider
2
him to
children
be
and a
an
baby on the
introvert.
way.
I mean, not on the extreme end. If an introvert went to like 1 to 10, I'd put him at like a 4 or 5, so on the lighter side of introvert.
Pretty even keel.
Yes, like really relaxed, like all the time. He was never really like worked up about anything, just
Mellow,
chilled.
easygoing guy.
Very much.
Okay.
And that's what everybody says. Everybody says the same thing about him.
Did you guys ever have arguments? I mean, very short relationship.
Sorry.
No arguments during that time. Did he ever lose his temper at any time?
Never.
You guys never had a yelling
Never.
match?
No.
So you never saw him upset or mad?
No. And there was a couple times that we had some disagreements on things that as we like further progress into this story, but it was never.
I know what that
Very
was.
calm when I talk to people. It's like
When are you gonna leave your wife for me?
That there's a disagreement in, and he always was the exact same way. Like always. Like I never stressed anything. I think one thing that actually kind of drew me to him was the fact that he was like very open with communicating with me if there were any like differences on how we saw things or just like open-minded about things. It was actually I personally thought it was kind of unique because usually most of the men that I've ever met are typically very closed off, and I didn't get that from him at all. But it was always like kind, very kind.
I mean, I think he's a sociopath too. But I'm just saying, she,
was aggressive.
I think she, like, he was a deer
Yelled, said crazy stuff or anything like that.
in the headlights. He didn't have a chance with
So
her.
can we just kind of go back to your relationship? You say you guys have a lot in common. What was that?
Well, I mean, like, we're both really into fitness. I think that's important. It's a lifestyle. Both of us ate pretty healthy, so I think that was important.
And his
as well.
wife is pregnant with a 3rd
He's
kid.
like a total gearhead.
I'm sure
He
she
likes
couldn't look like
cars
a
lot. I don't know nearly as much
young
about
single
them,
woman
but
with no
it's
children.
something that I've been pretty interested in, so we definitely talk about stuff like that.
She tried her best.
And I guess he was always willing to like learn new stuff, and vice versa. Like I like to travel a lot. It's not something that he's done a lot, but he seemed like really interested in what I
Really?
had
They
showed
seem to
him,
travel
and
a
vice versa.
lot.
So even if it wasn't something that we originally had in common,
He and his
together,
wife
it's just
traveled
like,
a lot
hey, I
together.
respect what you have to say.
And I think that's what you wanted. You wanted her life.
Yin and yang. Got along pretty well.
Very well.
And no
Christy, if you're still there, tell me if you agree with that.
None.
that he was
That she sought that out. She wanted
during your guys'
Shanann's
dating time,
life. She really did.
Did you guys spend most of the time at your place?
Always.
Okay. Always at your place.
I told, or we'd go out, but I told Mark yesterday, he asked me if I went over there, and I told him about one time that I went over to
Yes.
that house. I've been to that house twice, but it was very, very brief, and it was not like an extended stay. I did not
Now listen to what she says
feel
about the second
comfortable
time.
there, or like,
Or why
I just
she
didn't
was
want to be there. It's
uncomfortable.
not my life. Like, that is somebody else's life and somebody else's existence, and I respect that. That's their
That
space.
she
So I
doesn't
used to take
respect it
them
at all, or she wouldn't be
to our
there.
house because this is our
Yes.
space. This is my space. And
See,
so
that's
for me, I
territorial.
respect just
This
for,
is not my
whatever
space.
situation he had going on in the
That
fact
angered
it's
her.
not my home.
She didn't like that.
I felt
She
that was
saw
weird.
the pictures
My
of on
place
the
that I
wall
live
of the
alone,
wife
I
and the
mean,
kids.
everything, so it's pretty easy to do that.
So during June and July, were you aware that his family was not,
That's why she pushed him.
Didn't want to. And he didn't
Yeah,
ask me
she's
to.
gonna crack. Listen, they got their
I
eye on her.
didn't want to ever.
I hope so.
It was just not now. It's like you're not finalized with your separation, and not only that.
Listen to this lying BS.
You can't introduce kids to somebody new in a situation like that. That's something that takes time. I mean,
She didn't want to meet the kids, she said.
I mean, that would have been a great honor for me to have somebody introduce their children into my life, but not then. It was something that was like, okay, well, let's see where we're at in 6 months. Let's see where we're at in a year. And if we're still doing this, and you and me are still,
They're making all these
happy with
long-term
where we're
plans
at,
after
and
just
you
12
think that
weeks.
this is something that is going to be long-term and is worth
Of an
bringing your
affair.
children into the picture, then yes, I would love to meet them. But it's like, not right now. You are still in this
But yet,
situation
listen to
where you're
this.
not even completely out of it, and I'm getting in it, and that's not fair for them. And that was
She's
kind of
acting
the
like
policy
she's an
that I
advocate
had
for
with
those
him,
kids
was
right
just
now.
like, yes,
She's trying to
but not
convince
yet.
the police she's an advocate for those children.
Not at that time. I think both him and I were on the same page of eventually, if things went as they should in
I
the
understand your guys' relationship is very...
I think he wouldn't let her meet the kids because the kids would tell their mom. And she was pissed about that. She didn't like
It was
that.
short. Just laying everything out helps us understand what actually was going on with him. And so I might ask you a question and you're going, why the heck would he ask me that? Probably because I have information that I'm not willing to share with you, and I'll tell you that right now. I'm not going to tell you some questions I'm going to ask you. What the heck? I want to share some information with you. Just, it protects you and it protects our investigation. So if it seems weird, there's a reason I'm asking it. But it's usually relative to what I know.
They know a lot more
Don't take offense
than they
to
say.
it. Again, it's just part of what we need to know. Understood. So, you went to his house on 2 occasions.
Yes.
They want her
Was
to
that
hang
recent?
herself.
No, that was like pretty
And she
early
will.
into it, and I did not like it and did not want to go back.
Do you recall where the house was?
Yeah,
I
it's
did
like
not
right
like
off
it.
the highway in Frederick.
Okay. You know the streets?
I did not like
I
it.
mean, I'm sure I could figure it out.
She
again
knows
if I
exactly where that
had
house
to,
is.
like,
She's
off
rode
the top
by
of
a
my
million
head.
times. You know she has.
Street name?
You know what those women
I would
do?
have to, like, drive around
She
there
stalks
to
them
get
like
there.
prey.
Okay. Did it look like anybody else lived at that house at that
Oh,
time?
definitely. I mean, the
Is that
whole
what
thing.
freaked you out?
I mean, he told me that he was living in the basement,
Mhm.
and he said, we're separated, but we're not divorced, and we're going to get ready to sell the house. And that was the impression that I was under. And I was under the impression that they were taking everything pretty slow with this, with, like, getting ready to sell the house. I mean, those are big things. So that's what I was informed. And I mean, if you think about it, this whole thing happened in a 6-week
Mind you, that
stretch.
house
It's
was
not
worth
really that much of a
$400,000.
time frame. So in that sense, like, it's...
And last year his wife made $80,000 or he made $60,000.
Yes, I went to the house, and the first time I was there, I hung out in their, like, front living room on the floor, and it was on the 4th of July. It was the morning of the 4th, and I was helping him to set up my
And listen,
FitnessPal app. And, like,
all
track
she did
his
was
food
come
and
over
his
there to help him
calories and
set
stuff,
up some
'cause he
kind
was
of
pretty good with the working
fitness
out and
app,
stuff, and he asked
okay?
me, he's like, can you help me just, like, get this dialed in? It's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that.
They were just
So
innocent,
he
supposedly.
invited me up to the house, and I was already kind of hesitant to do it because I was like, there are other people that live here, and
Why
I just
would
felt
she
like
be
it was invasion
hesitant
space.
if all it
So
was
I went up
innocent?
there, and we just stayed in that.
That's a
I helped him out
lie
with that,
right there.
and got him all set up with that, and then he asked me if I wanted lunch, and he grilled chicken and carrots, and then that's all he had, and I was like, okay, so we ate, and then I left. And
They
then
ate and left. I
there was
doubt that
another
very. I
day,
doubt that very seriously.
I can give you the date-ish. Let me look at a calendar. I think it was the weekend after my birthday.
Why would she feel like she was intruding on something
Just a thing on there.
in someone's home if it was innocent? You know, I don't feel weird in somebody's house.
This gentleman?
If I'm over there visiting, if I have no ill intentions.
Do you want to do the
I forgot about that.
For TPD.
It's not for them. They're doing it for us.
Yes.
We don't have the equipment with us to do it, and I asked them to do it for us. They're not involved in this investigation. He would just be a computer person. He would not be looking at any of this stuff. That would fall to myself. So keep that in mind. He's not involved in this investigation. Thornton PD has nothing to do with this, other than letting us use their facility and helping us with some electronic download. he's not going to look at your phone right now. He's going to put it on a disc and they're going to give it to me.
Again, they're just trying to get her phone. She really is very
I really
hesitant
want to
to
help
give
you
it up.
guys. I do. I feel like this whole thing is just gonna be crazy, regardless of whether I give you my phone or not. I mean,
Now she's
that's kinda how I
rationalizing
look
why
at
she
it.
shouldn't give the phone.
Like it's happening. It's gonna happen.
Well, the text
Maybe it's
reiterates
just
what
gonna-
you've been saying all along, so it's not like...
Well, they do. That's the other thing too. I mean, that's kind of a good backup. Yeah, I'll give
I
it
think
to him.
you hit the nail right on the head. There's reasons why we want everything. It validates things that we know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
It validates what all she erased.
If you tell me something today, we'll
Cover her behind.
text messages, whether it's the ones we have
Yeah,
now or the ones you're going to give us. Certainly.
If you want to go get him, I
want you to read this, is what I want you to do before you decide that, okay?
So the second time I went to the house, I'm not sure what day it was, but it was the weekend.
Listen to this again. Her describing the second time how she saw the pictures and the beautiful life. This is where it tells how she wanted what
I don't know.
Shanann had.
One of those 2 days. But we had
Listen.
went out and we stopped there just real quick on the way back. And we were there not very long. But that time I saw a picture of his wife and one of his kids. And I remember thinking to myself, like,
Can't bring
wow, she's so
herself to
beautiful.
say the name.
And I like took a step back and I was just like, this man has a gorgeous house.
Mhm.
He has beautiful babies. He has a beautiful wife. He has an awesome job. Like, why would he want to leave this? And I remember talking to him about it, and that was the first time that I tried to actually say, what do you think about not separating from your life? What do you really try to work on this? And he had expressed to me that we've tried to work on this,
right.
and it's not working, so that is why we're separating. And I spent some time, like, just, you know, kind of, because it almost made me feel bad, where I was like, to
It
the point where
almost made me feel bad.
I'm engaging in a relationship with a man who, the way he described it, in a contractual agreement, but was not in
Now
like,
she's
an emotional
rationalizing
relationship with
again.
somebody.
Because she doesn't want to feel
and for
bad.
Me, the way I would have preferred to do this is to avoid it till that contractual agreement was also done.
That
and he was
contractual
not. And he
agreement.
could have approached me and said,
No, that agreement's between
just
that man, that
had a
woman, and
divorce,
God.
You know, maybe we could take this slow. What do you think? But instead, it was, oh, we're separated and we're working on a divorce, and that is
People
the
that
part
are separated don't live in the
I
same
feel
house
bad about
normally.
because I should have waited on that, and I didn't.
Now she's just,
And,
you know,
I
covering
was
for
just like,
herself,
well, they're
making an
already
excuse
there,
for herself. So she doesn't
you
look
know,
like the
them being
bad
in a house,
other woman
just like,
mistress.
why? Fix this. Find a way to fix this. Make it work, you know? And I was like trying to push him to do it, and
She was trying to
seemed
push him to do
pretty
it.
reluctant to do it.
He seemed
didn't want
reluctant.
to.
She was pushing him, you see?
And, I don't know, we were still seeing each other fairly frequently, but I kind of like backed away so we weren't hanging out quite as much. And
She
we were
says
so
she backed
close,
away.
but
I
it was
think he
just,
backed away for a
like,
minute.
I really wanted him to try. Like, I wanted to know that he tried and it didn't work, and then he moved on, not...
She says she wanted him to try. That's a lie.
Not that, you know, they both kind of tried, and then...
You don't send raunchy
he got
pictures
himself into a
if you're
situation with
telling your
somebody else, and I don't know...
man to try
I
with
just
his
thought he
life.
had a beautiful life going on, and he could have made it work.
He had a beautiful life going on. There again.
Is this something you reflected
Just from the
on
outside
since
looking in,
this
she
event,
said.
Or was this you?
No, I was
She
doing
just
it then,
admitted
like,
that.
You said this doesn't look right. He's kind of. I don't want to be responsible for a marriage.
This
especially
makes
with
me so
children.
angry.
Is that kind of
She is
just
not
like
in
it?
jail.
I didn't think it didn't look right. I mean, I think he was legitimately sleeping in the basement, and I didn't think
Yeah, right.
that these two were, I mean, I think it was like, hey, we're both stuck in this house for now. We gotta sell this.
But yeah, she's 15 weeks pregnant with his little boy that they tried for on
That's just, like, kind
purpose.
of how I took that. And
Before you came in their life, they
it
were
didn't look right. I just thought
like rabbits in the
it just
pantry
seemed
all over the
like
place
he had so much going on.
on their trip to
And it
San
was just
Diego.
beautiful that I was like, why don't you just try this out, you know, and see if you can fix it.
And
you
once
always be
again,
like,
here she is trying to say she tried to
Don't
tell him
worry
to
about
fix
us.
it.
Like, that is more important. Like, try to see if you can, like, salvage
But yet she had to
whatever it is that
push
you have
him.
going on with your wife.
And he was reluctant.
And, you know, I always got the impression that he was a great father to his kids, like, always. And so, you know, I was like, be the dad that you want to be. I was like, see if you can make it work. And he just, like, we kind of talked about it off and on for, like, a few weeks, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I think I was kind of, like, cold feeting about it after I went over his house. And so this was, like, pretty early on. And then, he told me that, he went to North Carolina. And
See why she's so hesitant and
I'm gonna talk
nervous.
to her when I'm in North Carolina and
Carolina.
see if I can get her to do this. To, like, try to, like, rekindle the flame.
Okay, so
Okay,
try to,
I think he did tell her that. I think he did.
salvage his relationship.
And she didn't like it.
Yes, and then if he
When did you go
decided,
to North Carolina?
I think it was like the last week of July, somewhere around there. So I mean, this was like a couple weeks that I was just kind of like.
I think this is one of the disagreements they had that she talked about.
And we'll come back to that real quick. I want you to read this. If you don't understand what it means,
I think she
ask
was
me a
telling
question.
him, why do you have to go
Basically what
there
it says is you have the
if
right
you think
not
it's
to
over?
look at your phone. I'm asking
Instead of what
you to
she's
look at your
saying.
phone for the purposes we previously discussed, for the text messages and your phone log, and unfortunately the photos that are attached therein too. That information is only relative to this investigation. I'm
Once
not looking
again, he's talking about
except for the
what she needs to sign
conversations between you and
for
Chris
them to take
Watts,
possession of her
and
phone.
the phone data between you and Chris Watts for phone calls, for times and dates for those phone calls, and then the content of the text messages that are there. And we'll write that specifically down here. Understand that.
I don't want anybody to get some of those texts. Like, they have nothing to do with this case, and they're just like,
Between you and Chris?
Once again,
they're just
So just tell me what you're.
they're just kind of raunchy. Like, I don't need anybody.
girl, we know they're raunchy.
Posted, like,
We're not gonna
somewhere. I don't
I mean, come on. From what we know about you, we know it's raunchy.
Or again, is the same kind of questions we're getting to here, is things about his children, things about his wife. There's the questioning of, did he ever.
And then now she's trying to be
has he ever
so
said something to
compliant
you that
again.
might indicate maybe
Overly
not then,
compliant.
but now that there was something like this in his mind, or you know what we're looking for. I don't need to come out and tell you that. I understand the embarrassment of particular photos or potential sexual types of conversations you may have had with Chris. It's not relative to the investigation. We don't care. Okay, you're an adult. I'm an adult. Everybody in this room is, even your dad. And I give it to you for saying that stuff in front of your dad, because I'm not sure many women can do that. So
They can if they don't really care.
We're after the information that corroborates things that you've told us, and also that corroborates or.
I think Daddy's used to getting her out of situations.
Things that Chris told us were a lie. You understand that?
And
that's
she's
maybe
calm and
before I usually won't tell people that,
because
but
Dad's right there beside her.
that's what I'm looking for. If I can disprove something he's told me by a phone record,
If he wasn't there, she would be a mess. She would have already cracked, probably.
Something that may be important. That's what I need it for. I'm not saying I can. Has it happened before? Absolutely. Is it critical in cases that I've worked in the past? Yes. So that's why I want it. Okay? Again, you don't have to give it to me. You can tell me I don't want you to have it. Go get a warrant. I'm not even going to tell you if I go get a warrant, try to get a warrant right now. I'm just asking for you to consent. And again, we can write right here what you're willing to give me, which is the text messages and the phone log. And unfortunately, again, the attachments on some of those text messages. And I'll write it on there, and then you'll just sign it. Okay? Do you understand the questions there? Do you have questions about any of the things that it says? You understand you don't have to do this. You're doing it of your own free will.
She's hesitant. She took that gasp like she wanted to say
I know you're
something,
tired, so if you want to let
but
your
she
dad
didn't know
read it
what to
too.
say.
That's good.
Oh, now she's going to let her dad
out before I sign it.
try to...
And just, you read it. If you have any questions, then we'll put on there what we're after.
Now she wants to make sure he precisely puts only what he's going to
I
get.
got you some food. I got food in my car.
It's not staying down.
Listen. Listen what she's saying. She had me feeling good.
Like, I got
Food's not
sick
staying
prior
down.
to this whole thing happening, and then I think all of this compounding with the fact that I'm sick, it's just not good. I have not really
She's
been
sick.
sleeping much at all.
I think she's sick because she's pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
I'm with you. We definitely need
She's
to.
pregnant because she did that on purpose to entrap him.
The more it takes, the less
And
sure
that's
that
why
they
he
are
was
of
so
situations. But on the other hand,
panicked.
I
He
think
had 2 pregnant women.
if you do just that,
His wife,
You tell me what you're willing to
who knew
advise me.
nothing,
is that good enough?
who he tried to get pregnant with, and then this woman he had an affair with.
I guess our phone call records.
So I'm going to put...
So the time of
It'll
day,
come
those
out,
phone
wait and
records
see.
on our text message.
Unless she had an abortion.
Huh?
Could we get photos of him?
Off of
Would you
that?
mind if we got his photos that he sent to you?
Oh, well, they'll be in that text message thing.
So all his photos were sent. There was no apps or anything else.
No, I hadn't listened to that yet. I'll have to do that next.
Yeah.
I just found out like three days ago. I'm
that he sent you.
Pretty much.
trying to catch up on all
Everything is
this.
in the text and the phone call records.
So
Like, all of it.
I will definitely go back and look at that.
we discussed prior to turning the tape on Tuesday, which would have been the 14th of August.
Do you think she could be pregnant,
Read some
Christy?
newspaper articles on the 13th and the 14th that regarded this case. You had also had a conversation with Chris at some point during the day on Monday. And on Tuesday, because of what you found, specifically what you said was, and I don't let me put words in your mouth, but you found out that his wife was pregnant.
And yes.
And you did not know that prior. And you found that out via the newspaper articles.
She's like a
and
whisper.
that caused you concern.
Well, I just realized that he was lying to me. Well, if you can lie to me about this, what else are you lying to me about?
Right, he didn't lie to you about
Realized that
nothing.
Maybe his wife was in danger at that point, and it was day 2 too, and she still wasn't home.
What did that cause you to do with your phone, though?
Oh, what? When I deleted those? I was just kind of grossed out by him, to be honest with you. I was
You're
just,
right.
I don't.
Yeah, especially now he's in prison. She probably got rid of it. Because now that's not what she needs. So she would have gotten rid of it because before that's what she would have used. You know, to suck him in and to say you're trapped. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're committed now.
I mean, that's what it was. It was
But as soon as they arrested
that
him,
made
she
me
probably went straight to the abortion
delete
clinic.
it. And then it was the lie that made me start questioning everything else he'd been telling me for the last few days.
And that's when you decided to come forward.
Yes.
So just for context,
She came forward to see why.
phones, usually we go,
No.
Or
It wasn't malicious at all. It
in her
wasn't
case.
malicious at all. He lied to me. It just hurt. Like, I had never felt like he'd ever lied to me before. And it was a big lie. I mean, telling somebody that you're in the midst of a divorce and then you have a wife that has a 15-week-old baby on the way is a huge, huge thing. And I was very taken back. And it was hurt. And so at that point, I deleted it. I had a few more quick things.
I mean, I think she was mad that she was pregnant, and she might not have known at first until they talked about it. And I think she did get mad.
It would honestly been like a bad breakup kind of thing. Like,
But no, I think she knew about that even beforehand because she watched those videos.
the information was not destroyed because there was anything in there that would be harmful to you or potentially to Chris at this point, but harmful to you in particular. That's not what you
I'm trying to give this person any benefit of the doubt.
excuse my language. This guy's an asshole. So I'm getting rid of him, and I'm getting this stuff off my phone.
that was like maybe his family is in
Hold on. What happened? Well, I might have to do
danger,
part
and
switch.
they're
What
not
my
coming
voice on.
back, and they're not staying with a friend.
Yeah, when did I go over there? Tuesday morning?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday.
I called you Wednesday morning.
That's when we started discussing you guys need to get everything that...
Oh, yeah. Also,
You
when he
understand the importance
talked
of
about the wedding
collection.
band, she told him to
Like I said,
pawn
people
it.
lie phone
The
records
first
back,
day.
and they really help specifically establish dates and times. I think we have a very good
On the
grip that in
text.
this case already, but
Then it showed it on the video of him, like, dangling on the end of his finger.
we have it. We don't want to lose it.
Like,
And that's really what it is for us. Is if we lose information that
I don't even...
later on we go, man, I wish we would have got that. And we may never even use these. We may never even look at
It was
them.
almost like he dangled it on the end of his finger, like maybe he was trying to suggest she'd left for another man or something. But like she would have left her pocketbook, her phone, her kids' medicines, and took her kids off with a man that he's never heard of.
And then I am going to put phone log for calls between yourself and Chris Watts. Your phone number is
720-656-9605.
Okay. I'm going to just pause that for a minute because I'm going to do this in two parts because this thing is so long and you have to wade through so much crapola. But I just wanted to say that from another from another interview that she gave, and it may have been even later in this one because I hadn't even gone through the whole thing of this one yet. But she was, when he was in North Carolina, okay, while she was trying to supposedly encourage him to work on his marriage, she told him and encouraged him to go work on his marriage. But the whole time she's sending him raunchy pictures. She's texting him. She's looking for apartments for him. She's asking him where his wife is going to live. Where the kids, does he need an apartment for the kids? Does he want a house? And then she actually found him a place. She was talking about how she had to really kind of push him into it because the housing market was so hot in Colorado and how the house would sell fast, and that, that she found the perfect place for him, and they were supposed to go look at it this week that she was giving this interview, okay? And, she acted like their relationship was so new, and that's why she didn't meet the kids, and that she thought it was too soon to meet the kids, but yet she was looking for a apartment for him and his children and pushing him to move forward with it when she said he was reluctant. And I just feel like that it was pressure from both sides. Like he was getting pressure from his wife to work on their marriage, and I think in a way he might have wanted to, but this man, honestly, I really believe he's a sociopath, and I think that's why he's so good at lying. I also think, and I already thought this until I found out that there was even somebody that came forward about this, but I thought he was possibly hiding a homosexual affair from her also, because many times when men are married and have children and they're a closet homosexual, their wife and children are basically like a beard or their disguise or their front. So, they need that and they want that and they enjoy that actually. They like having that. They want that. They want that in life. But then there's just this other part of them that they struggle with, and a lot of times they're ashamed of it because maybe of religious reasons of how they're raised, or just their parents, they're afraid their parents won't accept it, or their friends that they've grown up with, won't accept them, or maybe they're just ashamed. They don't feel as manly. I'll say this, and I'm not even going to apologize about it. I know they got married in a Catholic church, and if I don't know, I need to do some research, but I mean, if he grew up Catholic, it's possible he could have been molested as a young boy. And, that can have effects on a man to make him question, am I gay? Am I straight? And then I found out somebody told me that there was a man that came forward. He was like a prostitute type guy. He was younger. But they kept like saying he was yanking their chain. The police said that he was yanking their chain or whatever. But I actually believed him, and I'll tell you why. I know that people say, "Oh, he just wanted 15 minutes of fame or whatever," and that may be. That's possible because he seemed like he might be an attention seeker. But at the same time, there was a couple of things that he hit on that I found interesting. And I felt like possibly there were just a lot of layers to this. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of men, they will go out and they will bed as many women as they can to try to prove to themselves that they're not actually homosexual, because they're struggling with this. They're trying to hide it. They're trying to live a double life. And honestly, they do get tired of that. And the reason he can last so good is because if this is the case, and I'm saying if, and now, people try to say that they, like kind of like just basically said his testimony wasn't very trustworthy or whatever. Well, his brother has now come out and he has said that he can testify to the fact of things that Chris told his brother, and that they had a relationship. And he knew things, that I just feel like there was just no reason for the guy to come forward, except for maybe he felt like it could be one reason that maybe why he snapped, that he was living this lie that he couldn't keep up with anymore. And it was just like eating away at him from the inside out. And maybe, he was trying to find excitement through different women, to try to, find excitement that he maybe couldn't find because he had been with his wife for a while, and that was just not new and exciting. And so people that have this narcissistic, well, he's more of a covert narcissist. He likes to play the victim. So people like that usually will, that's why he tried to, tell her that his marriage was so horrible and she was so dominating. And I can see she might have had she was a little controlling, his wife was, but certainly no reason to kill her, because I think she seemed like a good person. She seemed like she cared about people and had a lot of friends that cared about her. And she was a go-getter. And I think she just wanted things done a certain way with her kids. And she was a little bit OCD. And I think that, along with what he was already struggling with, and the fact that he wanted another baby, they actively tried to have another baby. Because he wanted a son. She said she had another baby because he wanted a son. So she got pregnant for him. And then I think that inevitably cost her life, her unborn child's life, and the life of her children, which is so, so sad. I'm going to leave it here for today, and then I'll pick it back up another day. So I'll just check out for now. See you later. Leave comments below and subscribe, and leave your comments even if they don't mesh up with mine, because listen, like I said, I just found out about this 3 days ago. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, but I've just kind of done a crash course on it. So leave any comments below, because I am interested to hear what other people say, whether if they agree or disagree or what their theory is, because this is why I'm doing this. I feel that woman, Shanann, and her two little girls, Bella and Cece, I think that they deserve complete justice. And I think as long as this woman is allowed to roam free and just go about her business like nothing ever happened, while a woman is dead, her unborn child is dead. Nico was his name. He was a little boy, and she was 15 weeks. So he was fully formed. He was just smaller. But her little girls, they didn't deserve any of this. They were a victim. They were the victims, not him. He was not a victim. Well, he was a victim of her, but he was also a victim of himself. And it was just like a tornado that meets a hurricane, and that was the perfect storm. And I think that he is such an Ahab kind of person. And she was such a, I think his wife also was a little bit of a Jezebel type of a spirit where, she ran things and he just kind of went along. That's easier for him because he doesn't want to live in his reality. So he's kind of on autopilot all the time because that's the way he's learned to live. He's learned to live a lie. That's why he's a good liar and he's a good, and I think he loved her. I do. He probably felt like it was truly his best friend, and he loved his kids, I think, as much as he possibly could with him being a sociopath. I mean, when it suited him, you know what I'm saying? That's how sociopaths work. I mean, they love these things, but it's almost like a property to them. He felt he had the right to, if they got in the way of what was going on for him, or he had going on, that he could just dispose of them. That's a trait of a narcissistic personality disorder of any kind. Not necessarily to kill somebody, but just toss them to the wayside just after you've gotten done with any good, kind of like a parasite or a tick. After they're full, they'll just move on, a lot of times, and they'll feed off something else once they've killed that particular host. They'll feed as much as they can, and then when they're full, the tick will move on to another live thing and start sucking and sucking and sucking. So here we have a man in jail, although we know he deserves to be there because he killed his wife and children. But we have a co-conspirator here. I'm not saying she was at that house. I'm not saying she did one physical thing with him. I don't know if she did or didn't. We don't know where he went. I don't know. I haven't watched as much. Some other people might know. If he picked her up on the way and she helped get rid of the bodies, or if he had already gotten rid of the two little girls ahead of time. And had the weekend free with his girlfriend before his wife got back, and then he had to kill her because he had already killed the kids, and she may have even had something to do with that. Who knows? And that's what she's trying to hide. I don't know. I haven't, like I said, this last part, don't take that like I'm saying this is 100% fact, because I don't know enough about this yet. But I am interested in it because I think that this person needs to be held accountable for her part in this. Listen, went to jail for his entire life. His entire life. He never set foot in that home of Sharon Tate or the other Folger couple. However, served more time than the rest of them who actually perpetrated the crime. Okay, so what I'm saying is I think that she also is a mastermind, and she is very manipulative. I can tell by her interview. I see straight through her mask, and she needs to be held accountable so she doesn't have another one in her path that either kills himself, which would have been a better alternative in this situation. He should have just done away with himself, because then, not that I'm for suicide, I'm not. I mean, I wished he would have found salvation in Jesus Christ truly and found true happiness with his own self, and tried to work on his relationship with his wife. And I wish that he found healing for whatever was going on inside of him. I don't want anyone, not even her, to die and go to hell. I think that we all fall short. We all make mistakes. In this situation, probably just unfolded like anybody else in a crazy situation, and it ended up really, really bad. And sometimes it ends up like this, and sometimes it doesn't. It works out, but unfortunately for this family, it did not work out, and their marriage did not survive this. Oh, one more thing. Another thing that made me think that maybe even she thought there might be something worse than another woman was one of her messages she left or texted to one of her friends, where she said, "I'm afraid he has another woman or worse." Now, women who are married, tell me, what would be worse than a man cheating on you with another woman? Well, that would be cheating on you with another man, because that means you have no chance at all. You don't have the right equipment. You can't fulfill his desires or needs. You can't compete with that. So that's like a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? At least with a woman, you know what I'm saying? You feel like, well, listen, he's mine. I can mark my territory and I'll fight for what's mine. But if she kind of maybe caught some porn on the computer that might be some gay porn, because I will tell you that, and I don't like repeating this stuff. It's, horrible. But the girlfriend looked up on Google, according to the police, how to prepare for anal sex and how to do that with two men at once. Now, if she's looking it up, that means she doesn't know how. So that means that probably he is asking her to do this, something his wife would never ever do, or he would never even probably tell her anything like this. Or maybe if he brought it up sometime when they were drinking or during passion or something, and she kind of took a step back like, huh? And then immediately he knew, oh, he can't go there. That's not somewhere he can go. So then, it was shame and guilt, and then the resentment for the wife. And he found a girl that's raunchy, as she says, in her own words, and obviously has no guilt about stealing a man from his wife and children. And yes, I say steal, because honestly, the way she went in for this, like a attack mode, like she Googled this woman a year in advance. I think she watched afar at Chris. I think she had a fixation on him. I think she saw the good life that Shanann portrayed on her live feeds. And I think that she fell in love with Chris through those videos, and she had her sights set on him, and she wanted that woman's life. Truly, I believe she wanted her, like what she had going on, because she lived alone, which she said about 900 times. Yeah, so that's just my take on it. Like I said, hit subscribe, because I'm going to be bringing out some more as I look into this more, and also look back at some of your comments where you maybe can lead me in the correct direction. Maybe some things that you have found that I haven't brought up or haven't discovered yet, like Christy brought up earlier. I'm going to go look at that right now. All right, guys, have a blessed day. Talk to you later. Bye. If I can get this to go off.